Just trying to submit these questions now.
I think we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to today's AMA. This is a special AMA because we have almost the whole PARSIQ and IQ team here in Tallinn, Estonia for the first time. I think around 35 people out of almost 50 from all around the globe. We have the product team, the BD team, the community marketing team here. Anatoly unfortunately couldn't make it in person, but he's on this stream. So today, feel free to ask any of the teams anything, and we'll do our best to answer. So we have our first question. PARSIQ's announcement channel has been very quiet recently. We are left somewhat feeling abandoned for IQ. What's upcoming for PARSIQ? So who wants to take it? Wrong guy?
Me?
Yeah, you can do it.
Actually, Daniel is a good person.
It can be me. Yeah. So, all right. Hi, everyone, first of all. So there is a lot coming for PARSIQ monitoring platform. We haven't announced actually a bunch of stuff. And like during this gathering session, we've been like thinking a lot about our core concepts and where exactly we want to go with monitoring platform. And we like made some conclusions, some plans, and I won't be sharing much in details, but we have a lot that is going to be, I think, announced very soon.
Yeah, I probably can add to that as well. So I think we have been talking about a roadmap for a long while. I think I mentioned it on Telegram as well. We have the corporate roadmap. It's out. Like everyone in the company knew it. I share it with everyone. We are going to come up with something for the community. Tease you guys a bit. Some of it we wouldn't tell you more. Let you think about what it is. But the whole idea is we want to make it fun as well. So that is going to come your way. And of course, that when you look at that roadmap, it's going to have both PARSIQ stuff and it's going to have IQ stuff as well. It's going to be very exciting. There's a lot of things coming your way. But I don't want to spoil it for you guys as well. So look out for this space. It's going to come.
I think the updates from business development we're getting a lot of positive feedback on the new user interface. I think it's a lot more elegant, it's a lot more intuitive, and it's a lot of fun to demo, kind of going through and creating triggers and being able to push to multiple transports at the same time is a huge upgrade instead of having to create separate triggers for each transport. And we know what's coming down the pipeline from a product perspective, and we've got a lot of customers that are very interested in what we're going to be launching in Q1. So there's more information coming shortly.
And then, like from the community side of things, we're going to really start ramping up our targeted communities. So for like Reddit, we're going to start driving some hype. On our Discord, we're going to really develop some developer engagement, so some competitions for developers to start being immersed in like the PARSIQ+. And Telegram, just keeping engagement high, being interactive with the community, having more teams and a few alpha bombs maybe, I'm not sure. But as for the community, we're definitely going to start ramping things up as well.
I can also add from the marketing team as well and PR side of things that on the previous AMA, I mentioned a few things, but I guess regarding the upcoming things, we're going to have a huge podcast soon featuring Tom, and it's going to be in things, and so probably everyone should listen to. And yeah, so we have a lot of things in the pipeline, and we started to work on the influencer marketing as well, and probably some new nice YouTube mentions and Twitter mentions will be here as well very soon.
Yeah, and maybe I will unveil a bit from engineering team. because I would say that we improved a lot our ways how we manage and how we process data, especially historical data. And I would say that what I see that we could easily outperform our nearest competitors on that field as well, by the magnitude.
Since Anatoly is here, and I know a lot of the community probably wants to hear from you. What's your perspective on some of the concerns that that will PARSIQ and IQ compete with each other, or will they be more like symbiotic and synergetic approach?
I would say that the easiest way to see how IQ will work symbiotically with PARSIQ is that the IQ protocol is about expirable versions of tokens, and expirations are things that are invisible on the blockchain, but they are visible for PARSIQ. It's kind of virtual events that are inspired by something that happened in past in the blockchain. For example, at some moment, somebody taken some amount of tokens for 1 month. This month expires, nothing happens on the blockchain, but PARSIQ knows it and can notify any user of the IQ protocol, especially those who integrate IQ protocols. It will be another special type of the events that are not happening right now. They are virtually happening right now on events, and the PARSIQ will deliver such events for all IQ protocol users for smooth integration. And this is one of the interesting parts, how IQ interplay with PARSIQ services.
Yeah, definitely. I think IQ doing well and being used by these enterprises will give PARSIQ a lot of new clients.
Mm-hmm.
So next question: how's it felt having all the team in one place? Have you made significant developments? Who wants to share their thoughts? Any takers?
I think it's great that we have everyone from all over the world in one place at the same time. I think it's not just me, but we have been talking, and one of the common feelings we get is that it's the first time you actually see someone face to face, but it feels like you know each other already for a long time. When we talk remotely on Zoom, we make it a point to switch on our videos. We see each other's faces. We talk about different things. It's not necessarily just about work as well. So one of the things, for example, that I do when working remotely, and everyone's all over the world, is I make it a point to have one-on-ones with everyone in the company. And those one-on-one sessions is not just about work. It's probably about half of it, or maybe slightly less, depending on what we're working on, are about day-to-day life, about who you are, about your family, about your problems, about that sort of stuff. And then now that when we're face-to-face, it feels like we've been friends for a long time. There's a lot of things we can talk more. There's a lot more deep diving, and we have a lot of events. We had a lot of team building in that sense. And all of that builds to the kind of meetings that we have during this 1 week as well, where we talk about things from higher strategic level all the way down to things that we are going to enact in the next few weeks. So perhaps some other members of the team would like to share a bit more as well in terms of how we feel.
I'll jump in there. Hey guys, Simon from the VG team here. It's been great being here with the whole team. Like Ronkai said, just meeting everyone face to face is a big difference. Working asynchronous over Slack, over Zoom calls is amazing. Sharing ideas over Slack for new product ideas or what area we want to go and talking about roadmap is great. And we do have sync calls pretty much every week on that. But just really being able to everyone getting in one room, having a whiteboard, basically like locking ourselves in that room and just like literally drawing the connections between this is how this part of our protocol and product and future ideas that we have is really going to help connect and not only help create demand for PRQ, but really just help solve like challenges for our customers. So there's one that I'm personally pretty excited about. I got to chat with the team about. Daniel and I were brainstorming this use case a little bit back and forth, as well as the rest of the team. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I hope you are too, Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, I'm really happy to see that people is more than Zoom picture, so they actually alive. So yeah, and it's like very productive. Like no matter how professional your calls, it doesn't matter. Like when you gather in one room, it's much easier to make like big decisions and like to process big ideas. As Simon mentioned, you lock up yourself in one room. You go to whiteboard, and the ideas are born like within minutes.
I guess I can share our excitement of me, Tom Mata, when we just first met each other like in live and discussed that it's unbelievable that a year ago it was only me in the marketing team and it was only Tom in the BD team. And now the team is huge and everyone is so involved and excited about this. And so so really excited about what things and what things are going to come and how huge PARSIQ can be with all this like different people and different development.
Yeah, I cannot describe the joy of having so many talented people here in one place. It's really inspiring. I'm learning a lot from all of the team. So I think a lot of headway has been made, a lot of significant developments that we'll touch upon soon in this AMA. So next question, when will PRQ migrate to a new chain? Yeah, there are plans definitely to do bridges to other chains and list on first at least decentralized exchanges on those chains. Because that's exposure to the ecosystem. So we do have plans for this. No exact timeline. It's not a huge priority, but it's definitely on the roadmap. Is there any information you can provide in a possible working relationship with the new Coinbase NFT marketplace? No, I don't think our team has spoken to the Coinbase NFT marketplace team, but obviously it would be good to present IQ protocol to them for potential integrating NFT renting, collateralless NFT renting. So I personally do have connections with the Coinbase Ventures team and some folks from the Coinbase Exchange. So I will definitely ask for an intro to the Coinbase NFT team. It was mentioned an updated roadmap would be shared with the community. Can we expect that soon? Well, we actually had a few really productive meetings this week where we kind of finalized the directions we're going for the next year. A lot of exciting new product releases and new use cases that we'll be focusing on. So I think after everyone leaves this weekend, we can start working on a newly designed roadmap to publish on the website. Anatoly, when 3-hour session?
I think that in upcoming month, a 3-hour session, it's probably it's doable, but it's challenging now. A lot of things now are happening. But I would say when I will be ready to share a new bunch of mathematical things, and they are under the hood, I will do this together with Piano.
Awesome. Let's plan something. I think your last like 3.5 hour session is probably one of the most viewed PARSIQ videos online.
Okay, I would say that now I am preparing a space for creating such sessions more professionally, and obviously I will try on our community all things that we're installing now: the new camera, new phones, new switch devices, and so on.
Okay, let's go on. Want to hear from newest member of the dev team. What excites him, her most about PARSIQ and or IQ? Danny, who can we get here in front of the camera?
There's Alexei. He's not the newest, but I'd say oldest. And he joined, I think you joined PARSIQ from day one.
Yeah, somewhat.
All
Hi
right.
guys. It's here. You see me? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm definitely not the newest one. I've joined PARSIQ a long time ago, definitely more than 2 years, I believe. And what excites me most, I would say the challenges that are coming. The Solana, for example, is definitely a challenge. Processing a huge amount of data, and I'm speaking about historical data, and other challenges that are coming, like, I don't know, maybe some infrastructural things that we have. I'm the backend guy, so I'm passionate about servers, about hardware, about writing code. So all this stuff is driving me, and I'm glad that I'm working on this project because it helps me to fulfill my desires to write code and bring some value to the team and to the project.
Thank you, Alexei. There was a time when Alexei was the only full-time engineer on the project when the team was small. It has been quite a journey.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question for the marketing team. It was mentioned that efforts would be made to get PARSIQ on different DeFi TVL ranking websites, like DeFi trackers and DeFi llamas, and after the PARSIQ website got updated. Are you moving forward with that?
Yeah, so we definitely plan it, and I guess we will start putting this information like next week or so. Yeah, we had some like more important things to do, and after our team gathering finished, we will be more available to do like more tasks, obviously.
When Binance. Binance invested. Indeed, they did. So whenever a project is in talks with an exchange for listing, usually it involves a non-disclosure agreement. So obviously, there's no point in asking this because we couldn't tell, even if we wanted to. However, I can say that exchange listings are coming, centralized exchange listing. That I can confirm. We've made some good headway. I'm not saying which ones they are they big or small, but they're coming. Any news on CoinMetro staking plans? So CoinMetro, IQ protocol and PRQ staking in IQ protocol is currently on BSC, and CoinMetro doesn't support BSC. So we will have it when either we migrate, the PRQ staking migrates to another chain that CoinMetro does support, or when CoinMetro starts supporting BSC, which is highly unlikely. Could we hear more about reverse triggers? Has there been demand for it from projects building cross-chain? Maybe a good question for the BD team. Has there been any demand for triggering on-chain actions?
Sure. Yeah. So there's definitely been some projects, especially like cross-chain projects, that have talked to me essentially about they want to detect an event on chain, which the API decoder is amazing for, and essentially help trigger another on-chain action across that chain, but also various chains as well. So there's definitely use cases there also. Our team is exploring a variety of different things when it comes to like specific use cases, because from a BD perspective, it's easier to sell like end user use cases that are sort of more prepackaged. So we're discussing what are the first ones we want to tackle there, or we're brainstorming some more ideas as well. So yeah, we're excited about that also.
Yeah, we'll have the updated roadmap released after the team meetup. So there'll be more information on what we are prioritizing in the roadmap. I'll fast forward to some Anatoly questions, because Anatoly might not be able to be here for the full hour. So let's take those first. Questions for Anatoly. In 2020, he introduced us very passionately the IQ protocol concept. What is the future service or feature of the IQ protocol you are most excited about?
I would say that now after month of functioning of IQ protocol and being the PARSIQ being the client of the IQ protocol itself, we understood that some parts are missing, some parts are not necessary, and we understood that we can greatly simplify thing and add very interesting data structures that allow us to, I would say, to do some magic with auto returning coins to pools without any needed any social garbage collection like it was introduced in first version. And we found a really nice way how to marry IQ protocol and PARSIQ services. So I'm excited about these virtual events streams that nicely complete the feature set of the IQ protocol and will be delivered by PARSIQ. But and being involved into creation of both features, it excites me to see the synergy between these two projects.
Thanks, Anatoly. Any deadline on ParsiQL 2.0?
We can actually ask the man who does it.
Hello, guys. I'm Paul, and I'm in charge of development of ParsiQL. And I hope this is going to be the deadline. We are planning to launch the next version of the language by the end of this quarter. There's still a lot of work to do, unfortunately, because there are massive changes to the format of the artifacts that the compiler is producing and to how these are executed, actually. But we are working on it right now.
Yeah, because the language that you are experiencing when you are just typing commands, this is the tip of the iceberg. There is a runtime level, there is a transport level, there is a whole layered architecture, and to implement a new feature. So we already have a lot of features planned on the language level, but we need to propagate it through all the levels down to the execution engine that works directly with blockchains. And there are a lot of challenges, but we are moving with that.
Why IQ protocol doesn't work on Ethereum?
Because it's just too expensive to borrow. So we wanted to create a protocol that is really healthy, that it should equip a really working business with sustainable model, and it contains two parts. One is staking, that is obviously possible even on Ethereum, because those who want to stake, they are staking with big amounts. And very rarely, so for example, once per week or once per month, or even put all your coins into protocol and just forget and take the passive yield, for example. But another part of the protocol is borrowing or renting, and this is kind of thing that is that should be cheap, because if it's not cheap, then the cost of the services is really diluted by the cost of the transaction fee. So it means that I would say that the Polygon is more realistic choice for launching the next version of the IQ protocol. No, okay, of course, the Solana, all the cheap blockchains where transactions are cheap, they will be before Ethereum. But I would say that renting of the NFTs probably they could work as well on Ethereum. But Ethereum 2.0, it's under investigation, and we are just waiting for really working solution, because what we see now, it doesn't look like the thing that works for now, and we want to work with already working businesses.
Question from Dweep. Anatoly, there are some high-yield DeFi projects with unsustainable APY. Can PARSIQ do the math and flag any of these projects? It is a real-time monitoring use case and cannot be offered as a solution.
I would say that is one of the possible applications that firstly can be I believe that probably it even can be done on the user level already. So if you will learn a lot of internals of ParsiQ and how to use it, I believe it even already can be implemented just with no involvement of the team. I believe just need to check some features, but for users that are prefer no coding solution, I believe that this is one very good item for our backlog. It's a rather big item, but it could be launched like our Flasher. So it's just one service that can be easily built on top of our services.
Question from Amir. Does ParsiQL differentiate PARSIQ's power/offerings compared to other data infrastructure projects, like Tenderly, for example?
I would say that the Tenderly they work mostly as the debugger, or not such a very in-depth. So we kind of have intersections between features that are available in Tenderly, and moreover, we are implementing some things. For example, recently we started to digest the source code of smart contracts, analyze them, build source maps for smart contracts, and at the technical level introduced an ability to monitor even private functions in smart contracts. Just need to publish that functionality and reflect it in ParsiQ and all the system. But we are positioning ourselves more like data processor that can build indexes like the graph and constantly update them, using all the information that is available from smart contracts. Not only events from smart contracts, all the calls, all what, for example, if, for example, as the developer of the smart contract, you created some system and then you found that you need to implement some additional features that should react on something that is happening in smart contract or maintain any external state, then PARSIQ will be the first tool that you should think about to solve this thing. So it's not a debugger; it's a kind of copilot for smart contracts that allow implement additional state, maybe even to learn something about smart contracts, like in previous question, just to monitor contracts, build the statistics, constantly update it, and notify those who are interested in these things. But to implement properly all this monitoring logic, you need to sometimes you need to express rather complex computations, and ParsiQ delivers this ability.
The development for monitoring has been extremely slow since IQ protocol was prioritized. Can we expect a return to monitoring as main priority, including encase and reverse triggers? Now, the roadmap has been changed, which you will see very soon. We have some new things that you don't know about, and it's for the monitoring platform. So monitoring platform is a major focus. And so by now we've structured the team that it's completely separated. There's an IQ team of developers, and there is a significantly bigger team on PARSIQ, which we will be looking to expand even more. So Danny, can you comment on priorities of monitoring platform?
All right. So as you mentioned, like when IQ appeared, of course, like a lot of resources were mixed, like doing half monitoring, half IQ, all this sort of stuff. And now, yeah, it's two separate teams. So me and the guys from monitoring now free from obligations on IQ. So we are finally back on track and going full speed. So yeah, but the priorities are, they're kind of, it's a little bit hard to share without sharing the new roadmap. So maybe I will leave my comments for a little bit later about that.
Perhaps I can add just a little bit more as well, which is that IQ and monitoring platforms, they are very different products. So the kind of the developmental kind of time frame, the kind of resources you need, they are very different. And I think it's also equally important to recognize that they are at different stages. You see a lot more news about IQ because it's new, because there's a lot of things that they took actually a while to build, and you guys didn't see it because it hasn't been launched yet. And then once it came out, suddenly you see a lot of things. It doesn't mean that monitoring has been deprioritized, etc. Actually, there's a lot more things that we're building for monitoring, but those things takes a lot of time because of the tech that's involved.
Just to jump in on that, what I'd like to say is, like, when I'm talking to customers, there's the IQ is a great opener for PARSIQ and vice versa, right? So there's a lot of synergies with both of the products, but also on top of that, when Anatoly is talking about virtual streams, and sort of like some developments that are going on with IQ right now, there are synergies between both of our products. Not only it's the core of our tokenomics, which really upgraded tokenomics, there are synergies between both of the products. So as IQ gets adoption, PARSIQ will also get adoption and benefit from that as well. So yeah, there are synergies. There may have been some team resources shared at the beginning, but now they're two separate teams, and the adoption of both will benefit both as well.
Who is the tall guy with Anna?
That's Francis. Can we give her an intro?
Yeah, hi. I'm Francis Foster. I joined the PARSIQ and IQ team about 3 months ago. The comms lead. I work in Anna's marketing team. Previously, I worked in an analytics team, part of the European SAP arm, and after that, I worked in television for a long time. So Anna and I kind of hooked up about 3 or 4 months ago in light of assisting PARSIQ with comms and PR and helping to put out the message.
Yeah, so everything regarding articles and third-party mentions and so on and so forth is only a problem for Francis, and you can ask him directly if you want.
All right. Next question. For membership programs in the IQ protocol, which kind of companies you think could benefit the most from the protocol? I don't know, but Simon, maybe you want to share your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. IQ protocol, the more and more I talk to clients and the team about it, the more flexible that I see that the protocol is. So there's so many use cases that are not only brought up by the clients that our team hasn't even fully thought about yet, but also new ones are coming up every week. So really good way where I explain the protocol, I think, with customers where they really understand is using Netflix as an example. And let's imagine Netflix or Spotify, or one of our favorite subscription services, had a token, right? This would directly drive demand back to the token by either allowing users to hold a certain amount or rent the equivalent amount and have the same type of experience that they're used to nowadays, just paying $10 a month or whatever it is. So not only gaming with NFT renting, for example, with SoulStreet, we're working with the team right now for that, for both the token version and the NFT renting version. So for example, to play all the games on their platform, they're going to have that subscription type model using the fungible token version. Whereas they're also going to use the NFT version as well in order to rent out NFTs. So whether it's like a true subscription model or you need to pay a monthly fee to access premium content or a certain area of a website or gated content, those are all opportunities for subscriptions.
Thanks, Simon. And since Anatoly has to leave for another meeting, last question. Any hint on the IQ launchpad you mentioned once?
I would say that this is one of the biggest things that would. I don't want to say finalize the building of the IQ protocol, but this is one of the interesting things. So you can think about when the designer creates a design, it doesn't just give you here is a logo, here is a color, do what you want. He gives you a whole brand book, how to use it, how to create your visual style, and just imagine how to transfer these notions to the IQ protocol. So we will try to build a whole concept how to build a business around the IQ protocol. If you have an idea how to grow the idea from the point when it's only an idea, and to even to help you create your business on the blockchain, integrate it into IQ, create some rules how to evolve using IQ, and all these things we are going to concentrate in one knowledge base. And on top of this knowledge base, we definitely will create some entity that will work like a launchpad on the IQ.
Anatoly, we, the team and the community appreciate you taking the time to do this AMA, and let's schedule that 3-hour session.
Okay. So, bye, guys.
All right. Bye, Anatoly. So, we have, what ideas have been considered for a viral marketing program?
Well, we often discuss some like different viral campaigns for marketing, but I think that the best idea is, which is under discussion now, is that we're gonna have an incentive program for using our monitoring platform. So it's basically a similar thing as Coinbase currently has, and I think some other exchanges who incentivize their users to learn the product, to try it, to, I don't know, solve some riddles and something like that. And then you will be literally paid with something. And so we had such kind of a discussion for this campaign, maybe as a joint co-marketing campaign with an exchange. But it's like not finalized yet, but it's something we're gonna work on like after the team gathering, basically. Yeah, so I think it's like the biggest, not the biggest, but one of the biggest and greatest idea for viral campaign that we currently have.
Yeah, and we during this these team meetups are great for brainstorming sessions, and we've come up with some great ideas for viral marketing of IQ using NFTs. So I think we'll be going forward with that. How is business team prioritizing between DeFi, NFT, metaverse space? So, yeah, any of the BD team wants to answer? So, how do you prioritize between the different segments within the industry?
I think we're having conversations with all of those categories. I think the PARSIQ platform team is having most of the conversations in the DeFi space. There's a lot of interesting protocols that are looking for smart triggers to push updates to the community. And we've had a lot of requests for kind of additional development to do like liquidation alerts for folks in the synthetic DeFi space. And then on the NFT and metaverse side, I think that's more of an IQ.
Yeah, no, I can answer that. Just keep on PARSIQ for a second. In the metaverse and like the gaming space, I had actually a really interesting call with a team that I met one of their founders at the Solana Breakpoint event. And the use case that they brought up for PARSIQ was really interesting. And I shared with the team, we all thought it was cool. Essentially what they wanted to do is that they wanted to take an on-chain event and an on-chain transaction where someone unlocked a certain level or won something in the game that got them to receive a big deposit in their wallet. So we would detect that big deposit, and essentially once we did that through APIs and webhooks, we would send to their gaming engine that this event happened. And then from there, they would send out essentially a bounty for everyone in the game to go try to hunt down that person for like an extra reward. So it was a really cool use case of how this team was like, we were just having a call, brainstorming ideas, talking about use cases, and they actually brought that up to us. And now I've used that sort of idea about like detecting on-chain event to do something else and communicate with your gaming engine and your front end more so as well. From the IQ side of things, talking to a lot of gaming companies right now. Won't share too much today. I think, fingers crossed, there'll be pretty like an announcement I'm excited about next week. I know I've talked about this a little bit on some of the recent Twitter Spaces. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to partner with this project. They're on Solana, have some big investors, and should bring some great awareness as well. But yeah, talking a lot of projects across various chains in the gaming space, and they're interested in both the NFT renting use case, but also concepts with their fungible token version of either like monthly subscriptions or renting a certain amount of tokens in order to enter a tournament, for example, or things along those lines. So yeah, that's what I would say on the IQ side.
When will PRQ and monitoring recapture the market's attention again? It started off hot last year and has since dropped out of favor, and most of crypto has written off. How will you change this? Well, not sure I agree here. I think in terms of the product and the PARSIQ monitoring platform, we're having like more corporate clients, more users, more developers than ever, and we're talking to. So we have clients testing it who are launchpads, who are DeFi protocols, who are exchanges, some, like we discussed, some governments, government bodies, and others. So I would definitely disagree with it. And PARSIQ has been more in the picture. I've spoken to countless founders and investors and partners, and most of them have heard of PARSIQ as an established project. So I think what you mean here is the retail attention for the token, which is a different story because we've covered it extensively during the last AMA as trends change. And so the way is to keep building, to deliver value and show a lot of progress, and eventually the attention of let's say crypto, more of the B2C community, it will catch up. There's that's been my experience, at least. Let's see the next questions. Any progress with traditional, so that means probably non-crypto native companies, perhaps any clients which are NDAs? Tom, you want to comment here?
Sure. So we're chatting with a number of Web2 platforms because what's interesting is having access to all this information, not only from a push-based notification, data delivery process, but then also pull-based, looking at historical information. And I think a lot of Web2 companies are still trying to figure it out. Like, what do we do with user information that's related to public addresses, people transacting on the Ethereum blockchain, people transacting on Bitcoin? They know it's valuable, and they're trying to figure out how it could influence their account management process, their customer support. And so I think that we'll close some deals this year and we'll be able to make some announcements, but a lot of use cases are super preliminary, and we're just kind of getting people to use the system and see how powerful it is and what the capabilities are. And then another thing that's super exciting is chatting with the governmental organizations and law enforcement organizations about PARSIQ's crypto tracing capabilities. Those are really interesting as well, because we're able to deliver data packets in real time. One of the challenges is if they're tracing crypto that might be sent to a hot wallet for a centralized exchange, and law enforcement organizations need to put in a request to freeze those funds if it's a part of a pending investigation. Like, speed is crucial in order to prevent those funds from reaching a cash out point or ramping to fiat and exiting the system. And so that's one of PARSIQ's primary advantages, is the real-time nature of the data we're able to deliver. And then also, because of the strength of our development team, we can build these automations and customizations to help kind of these large organizations with their process in terms of helping them be more efficient, because it's interesting. We'll have conversations. We'll try to ask, well, how many Bitcoin crimes are you investigating? Or what's your percentage close rate for these incidents? And they're kind of dodgy. They don't give us much information because they're law enforcement and intelligence organizations, and they can't leak that. But what they are telling us is the number of crimes is increasing, and so it's becoming a bigger problem in terms of the dedication of organizational resources. And so they're getting ahead of it by having conversations with platforms like ours that can help them be more efficient. So I think 2022 will be a super exciting year for us for working with traditional companies and especially these governmental and law enforcement agencies.
Thanks, Tom. So PARSIQ needs to grow Telegram users and Twitter followers. There are many ways to give small airdrop or incentive. Maybe the community team can touch upon our social media, statistics, results, and plans.
Yeah. So hey everyone, I'm Casey, social media manager with PARSIQ+IQ. If you're looking at Twitter followers, in the last few months, in the last 3 months, we've almost sort of doubled the Twitter followers. Our next milestone is going to be to get to 50,000, which is a big improvement. Last year, at the start of the year, we were only around 7,000. So our audience has really grown in that regard. In Telegram, our audience is still increasing, but maybe not as fast. But when you come to the Telegram community, people really feel comfortable, they have fun, and there's lots of things we're doing to keep them engaged there. So just by judging by how many messages there are a day and how close we are with some of the Telegram community members, I think that space is pretty good. The last part of the question, airdrops, incentives, I think the big thing for PRQ holders and IQ stakers is going to be this free IQT that's going to come out, right? That's going to be sort of a big campaign for Q1. So I encourage everyone to stake their PRQ and MIST now on IQ protocol to have some access to that free IQT. And then, of course, we're also going to be giving away some whitelists for IQ. So that will be big as well. And then things happen out of the blue, right? Martin, our one of is here. He was in Dubai at the 24-hour series race, and he saw the PARSIQ logo all over the Porsche. So just things like that increase brand awareness, get lots of retweets, lots of likes, and then I can't say enough about how strong our community is at sharing all this information. Some of the people in Swarms, but other people as well, all they do is share and show PRQ to as many people as they can. So and it makes us really happy to see. So if everyone keeps doing that, and we're working hard, building a bigger marketing teams, we got a growth marketer that's starting as well. So it's going to be massive growth for 2022 on both PRQ and IQ, in my opinion.
Absolutely, I would even emphasize the part of the community and the team working together. That's a lot of amplification, and it really helps us grow. What are some specific challenges in terms of teams and organization that you have been able to address during this week? Who wants to take?
Well,
Maybe I can share something at least. So from the very beginning, PARSIQ is really happy and lucky with everyone we hire. And I think the only small issue is that everyone works remotely, and we have different time zones and so on and so forth. So when we just gathered during this week, we had some discussions on task management services, on the pipeline, some knowledge sharing about different CRMs and so on and so forth. So I think Daniil mentioned that it's much more simpler to solve some minor issues when you meeting each other in real life, and so that's but still we don't have and didn't have any organization issues within the team, never.
Yeah, I think I can add a couple words. So the challenges we are faced here are more strategic, especially since Aaron Kai joined the team. So our team and organizational issues, they are gone. So he made it like a system. So it works really well now. I mean, it worked well. It worked okay. Now it works well. So yeah, for us, this gathering is more about figuring out strategic challenges, not organizational.
Perhaps I can add to that as well. Thank you so much. I think this was a great chance where everyone really came from all around the world to a single place for us to really share. I think at the highest level on the first day, we came in and shared all the things that we've been discussing for months on the kind of strategic things we want to do, the roadmap, of course, KPIs even, what sort of targets are we going, why are we doing those? A lot of it is talking about why, because once you understand why you're doing certain things, why other teams are doing certain things, why are they focusing on other things, it's a lot easier to do that. And this is the best chance for me to, I can do a virtual event with 40 odd people on Zoom, but you don't get the same feel. It is a lot better to share everything when everyone's in the same room, take questions directly, have a form of sharing, and it goes from there. I think those are the things that we take off. A lot of other things that we try to resolve this week as well are really a lot of strategic issues, because those are very difficult to discuss. We used to hold week after weeks of different discussions on Zoom, for example, and we talk about a lot of things, and it takes actually a lot of resources to compile them, summarize them, try to visualize it. But then we just lock ourselves in one room for an hour and we draw on a whiteboard and we visualize it immediately. That is really things that I'm extremely grateful for like the time that we have here together in Tallinn.
Absolutely, it has been a blast. And we're not going to do this quarterly, but it would be great to do it twice a year, winter and summer session. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next one, as this one is coming to an end, unfortunately. So guys, I think it's time to wrap it up. So if anyone from the team has any closing words or anything to say to the community, feel free.
Maybe I'll say something. I just want to say, like, being here with everyone and getting to meet all the founders and just the whole PARSIQ and IQ team has been very welcoming to all of us, and it's been so nice to meet everyone in this room. Not only do we worked on some process stuff, but like the most important thing that we did all this team building, and they hosted so many great events for us. And so it just really sort of solidifies how strong we feel about working for PARSIQ, and we'll continue to put 110% effort in going forward.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of projects out there who have a full anonymous team. You don't know who anyone is, so it's not many projects who would fly everyone out here to meet, brainstorm ideas, and come up with new mechanics and this sort of thing. So definitely, I think it's been a great idea. It's been very productive.
Dave, you want to introduce yourself as well?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm Dave. Most of you told me already.
And just going on what Dave said and what Casey was saying too, like the fact that like we grew from, I don't know, 20 maybe last year to almost 50 people now, like the company's growing, the business is growing, our opportunities are growing, our roadmap's growing, the possibilities are growing. And I think like the fact that, like if you even look at like large organizations, they've been like cutting back costs to be able to like save costs for the organizations and like not do stuff like this. But Tom and the founders and the team and the company, like being able to fly us out here to do this, like shows that we're here. The business is real, unlike maybe some other projects in the space. And like we've been building ever since like the bear market, and we've grown so much. And I think it just shows like how committed the team is, how committed our founders are to the vision, and being able to do something like this is really big.
Based PARSIQ.
And may I add something as well? So something you said about growing, and the thing is, we are growing as well. So I feel it on myself, because you communicate with all these amazing team members, and everyone has some experience to share, some skills to share, and I feel it on myself, and I see it on my teammates as well. So pick any of us, and our skill set like is much higher than when we started, and like each person was awesome already when we started. So it's really inspiring, and being a part of it is awesome. Thank you, guys.
One last thing, we're still hiring, and be sure to check our career page on the website, please.
Absolutely. So who wants to join the PARSIQ+IQ teams? Drop us a note. Well, thanks, team, for doing this AMA. I think it's we can't do this too often. It's not often we are together here in one place. So this was great. And see you guys soon. And we're gonna do another AMA in 2 weeks. Probably me with someone else. Bye, guys.
Hey guys.
See you guys.
Tom just say soon and 2 weeks.